You talk about a playoff atmosphere. Dream lose 90-97 to the Las Vegas Aces. Let's talk about the game. We're not exactly at do or die time, but with 3 games left, the margin for error is as slim as it's ever been, and the Dream are taking on one of the top teams in the W. Same injury list as the last game. Coffey, Billings, AD, Hayes, and Wallace are all out. So basically an entire starting lineup pretty much. And at least 2 of them are done for the season and presumably the entirety of the playoffs. A lot of people out, but a lot of other people who need to step up, and they did a pretty decent job of it last time out. But against Vegas, decent is not going to be enough. Wheeler, Howard, Hillman, Caldwell, and Parker are all starting, which is a pretty good starting lineup by itself anyway. Before I go any further here, I just got to point out, there is literally less than a week in the season, and some teams still have the wrong color for the Atlanta Dream. A'ja Wilson draws first blood with a 3 in 30 seconds. They're in playoff mode already, but Howard responds with a 2-pointer. Erica Wheeler knocks down another 2, and then A'ja Wilson again sinks a 3. Then gets fouled and sinks both free throws. She has all 8 points for Vegas and only 2.5 minutes in. Cheyenne finds some open space, and Caldwell scores several times to give the Dream the lead. Vegas calls a timeout. After Wilson and Plum just dominate, the Dream come right back out. They go with 6 for 6 from the floor so far. There's a lot of back and forth after that, much like the Dream's last game. Defensive rebounds, missed shots, possession changes. A couple of minutes go by without any scoring because of it, until Erica Wheeler decides to be the hero and hit a 3. The Aces are starting to get a little comfortable after this point, though. They're running plays with very little resistance, not taking a whole lot of time off of the shot clock. Jackie Young in particular is having a hell of a game on both sides of the court, and they just start going the hell off. The Aces take a 5-point lead, and Atlanta calls a timeout, which is just what Parker needs to respond with a 3-pointer. So of course, A'ja Wilson has to match it. It's 28-22 after 1, Aces lead. Their defense is forcing the Dream to kind of take their time and use up the shot clock. They're still getting good looks, they're still getting shots off, but they're not really able to match the Aces' ability to run wild with it. Atlanta is really going to need to go on a run or 2 in the second. Can I just take a moment to point out that I love what I'm seeing from Aces fans? This game isn't a sellout, but those who are at the game are loud. And if not for the empty seats visible from the hard camera, I'd say that this was a sellout. When the playoffs start, this is going to be one of the loudest buildings in the league. The Dream get a lot of shots on net to start the second, but none of them are going in. The Aces got only 1, which missed before Ari McDonald finally breaks the cold spell with a 3, bringing the game to within 3 points. She gets fouled on another shot and gets a free throw to tie the game. Now, Derica Hamby takes a pretty bad fall and appears to hurt her knee. She tried to get a shot off at the post, being guarded by Kia Vaughn, but she seemed to trip and got her knee locked up. She was able to walk to the bench, but she needed some help and wouldn't come back later on in the game. Hopefully that was just a precaution and nothing too terribly serious. Some more back and forth between the 2 teams, and Chelsea Gray just turns the difficulty down to rookie when she makes a lightning fast, no-look pass to Kelsey Plum for a quick 2. It looks like the kind of play that they practice every single day, and they just finally found a place in the game to pull it off. Then Jackie Young is left wide open for the easiest 3 of the game. The Dream knew that this was someone that they can't leave open, and they left her open anyway. Ryan Howard, meanwhile, slithers between several defenders to hit a layup, so they're at least trying to atone for it. And then, as if the injury problems haven't been bad enough, Erica Wheeler goes down. Not sure how it happened, I just know that it was something to do with her knee. She got back up and went back to the bench, but she needed a lot of help to do it. Now, the silver lining is that she was still on the bench after the timeout. At this point, she had 6 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists. Maya Caldwell had an excellent 2 possessions, scoring a team-high 12 points with a 2-pointer. Ari McDonald with 8, Ryan Howard with 7, and Erica Wheeler with 6 have a combined 33 points between them. Wheeler doesn't spend a whole lot of time on the bench, fortunately. She is right back in it to close out the half. Vegas leads after 2, 47-44, but the Dream did a pretty good job of finishing, not letting the Aces do too terribly much out there. Every single player that entered the game for the Dream so far has made a basket. They're shooting 50% from the floor, going 18 for 36, and 44% from 3-point range, 4 for 9. Maya Caldwell has 12 points off of 5 for 6 shooting. Wheeler brings the gap to only 1 point to start the third, then scores another 2 again. But again, as always, this lead is only temporary. Vegas can't seem to be stopped without the Dream getting in foul trouble, though Howard does get a squeaky clean block, which starts a sequence leading to Wheeler getting her 6th point of the quarter. And the officials seem to be giving their whistles a little bit of a break. Not a whole lot is being called that probably should be. And, I kind of like that. It gives the game a bit of a playoff atmosphere, which, the game's kind of had the whole point anyway. But what they are calling maybe could have been left alone, like that Asia Wilson blocking foul against Ryan Howard. I'm with Aces fans. That call was total BS. The rest of the quarter was, once again, just so back and forth. Far too many things for me to keep up with enough to take notes on. Otherwise, this video would be a lot longer and probably a little boring as well. Eri becomes the third Dream player in this game to reach double-digit points. Wheeler is playing like she never got hurt in the first place, and Naz Hillman is proving why she's a starter. It's just a fun, intense game that feels like a playoff game. Atlanta finally takes a 1-point lead after Wheeler knocks down a 3. Now, credit the Dream to tightening up their one-on-one coverage, but Chelsea Gray still manages to get a shot off. Unfortunately, she came down pretty hard on her foot because I guess Wheeler didn't really give her enough room. She got a flagrant out of it, but fortunately, Gray stayed in the game. So, in this NBA 2K game, injuries are turned off, at least for the moment. As great as the Dream's defense have been, the Aces are still able to overcome it. They go on a run, and it's 78-69 before McDonald gives Atlanta some breathing room with a 3. Then Maya Caldwell scores a 3 on the next possession. It's a 3-point gain until Ryan Howard ties it up. Vegas takes the lead back, but still, this is just an absolute blast to watch in any event. These two teams absolutely could meet in the playoffs, and I would be just fine with that. Hillman gets her 10th point and on an and 1, which gives the Dream the lead again. Vegas takes the lead back, but Atlanta is not giving them breathing room for too much longer. Howard, McDonald, and Parker are really stepping up in the absence of so many of Atlanta's most threatening shooters. But the Aces ultimately held on to win 97-90. Vegas had 4 players score 20 or more points, and that's the third time that has ever happened in league history. The only other team to do this was the Atlanta Dream, who did it twice in 2018. As a team, the Aces went 19 for 19 from the free throw line, which is tied for the second most free throw attempts in a complete game without a miss in team history. Now, on the Atlanta side of things, Ryan Howard scored her 77th three-pointer of the season, breaking the record previously held by Tamika Catchings, which she broke in 2002. Again, there's no Rookie of the Year debate. Ryan Howard is the Rookie of the Year. Deal with it. These two teams absolutely need to meet each other in the playoffs. I know Atlanta lost, but this was just fun. It's really the only way I can describe it. And that's exactly what basketball is supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun. I sincerely hope that this becomes a series, but to do that, the Dream need to get through New York. They'll have 2 chances to do it before the season ends. The first chance is this Friday at 7:30, and I hope you'll come back later on that night for another one of these. I'm having a lot of fun with them, and I hope you are too. I'll see you Friday night.